Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you are new here. Today we're going to be reviewing our December 2021 budget, and it was a pretty hefty spending month. A couple things happened this month. My birthday trip went under this paycheck budget, Christmas, and then planning for our snow trip as well for early December or for early January 2022. So a lot of spending this month. Again, it was a 3 paycheck budget month. 47 days worth of tracking expenses. So I'm going to go ahead and just break it down. We'll start off over here in our month totals, and then I'll break it down further in a little bit. Going into our December budget, our starting balance was $217.32. Our incoming income was $15,014.57. Again, I'm going to break that down later and show you where this all came from. Our expenses was at $14,643.61, which sounds crazy high to me, but it'll make sense when I show you where that all came from. And our difference over here says $588.29, which is totally off. So these numbers right here, so this number right here and this over here should be the same. I don't know why it's off. I don't know if it's because it's a 3 paycheck budget month, but it's usually tends to be the same. But we were off anyways by $2. And over here, it makes it look like we're off by about $8. Our actual amount, though, that we ended with was $596.33, which again is off by about $2 compared to what we ended in our expense tracker. And I did put that amount over here. Our checking account, we ended with $485. Cash, we carried over with $111. And I quickly want to show you guys in other months over here what I'm talking about. So the difference here was $215. Same thing over here, October as well. The amount over here is also the same. So I don't know why I just kind of gave up after trying to figure it out because I was spending too much time on it. So just moved on and just carried over what our actual amount was. Anyway, let's go ahead and take a look at our income for the month. So 3 paycheck budget months, as you guys can see. The paycheck dates that were included in here was from November 26th, December 10th, and then December 24th. So starting off with the first paycheck budget, we did have a leftover amount of $217 that was carried over. And then my husband's paycheck was at $4,227. He gets paid bi-weekly, and he did do a lot of overtime this paycheck budget. So his base pay is around $2,300. So this to us is a lot, and which is one of the reasons why we were able to also save this month as well. And then for other, we had $720 total. And I did break that down over here because I just like to know where it comes from. So my mom sent us money for gas. We did visit my mom and my Bay Area family in San Jose. We also went on a bit of a spontaneous trip to Santa Cruz over the weekend. And my mom sent us money for gas, which she always does. So that's what we used it for. And my ninang gave us $100 for the boys, which she's been doing the past year. And then my mom and my ninang also gave me money for my birthday. And my mom did give us money to help pay for her room, which we booked when we booked our room for Santa Cruz. And then sinking funds, I believe this is Christmas. Yeah, so we spent a total of $102.81 this paycheck budget for Christmas, and we just went ahead and just transferred the exact amount so that it balanced out. And I think that's it for that paycheck. And then moving on to the second paycheck budget month, we started off with $593, which pretty much carries over the cushion that we want as well, which was $350. And then my husband's paycheck was at $2,500 this time. He did do a little bit of overtime here, but not as much as the other one. I believe the other one, the reason why it was so high as well is because he traveled for work. I think that's where that income came from as well. So he got paid a little bit more than usual. And then child tax credit, $550. My mom sent over money to us to give to my husband's mom for personal reasons I don't want to say. And then sinking funds, we took out, or we transferred over $2,627. And this also comprised of money that was going to be paying for our credit card balance as well that we use for sinking fund things. So like travel, Christmas, my allowance and fun and events as well. So I also have a breakdown of this here. I know it looks like a crazy mess, but it makes sense to me, just because I wanted to make sure I write down, or I wanted to make sure that I had a place for all of the spending that we did on our credit cards, just so I have the total amount that we needed to pay off those cards before the interest hits, or before they were due. So that's what this over here is. So over here in our sinking funds, again, to break it down, the total we spent on Christmas was the $171.31 plus $84 that was on my Barclay card. So those are our Christmas expenses that we needed to transfer over. For fun and events was a total of $386, was from to help pay for a Santa Cruz train tickets that we paid for, and then for my sister-in-law's gift as well. And then travel, we transferred over $18.91, and this pretty much covered our hotel cost for both my room and my mom and my aunt and uncle's room. And then we also put a rent-a-car on here, which was a little bit more expensive than usual because it was around the holidays. We did book our trip, or we did rent our car. I think we picked it up the day before Thanksgiving and we returned it on Monday, I think. Yeah. We also decided to get a car that would fit all of us, like a 7-seater. So that way my mom and my aunt and uncle didn't have to drive separately when we go to Santa Cruz, from San Jose to Santa Cruz. So yeah, I think that's it. Oh, and then we also did another transfer for Christmas later on for $350. And then moving on to the third paycheck budget, we started off with a bigger balance this time around, $654. 450 of that was for our cushion, and then I think we just wanted to roll over whatever we had. I think going forward, I want to put extra money that we're going to be rolling over. If it's not for our cushion, I do want to make sure to put that into any of our savings goals. And then for our paycheck for the month, or my husband's paycheck for this budget, was again a little higher than usual, at $3,000. At $3,011, he did do overtime again for this paycheck period. And then for gifts, we received $495, which was a combination of money for our boys, gifts for my husband and I, and then my sister-in-law gave us money to pay for something we ordered for her on Amazon. We also got refunds as well from our hospital, and then from Amazon for something that I returned because I didn't get it in time, so I decided to just get a refund on it. And then we also got income from our sinking funds again for Christmas, and then for myself, for my savings. And I think that's pretty much it for this paycheck budget. And yeah, so let's go ahead and take a look at our spending. Again, this is a 3 paycheck budget month. So rent usually for these type of months is going to be double. So rent is at $2,790, which it's usually $1,395. Subscription is as usual, and it's usually low because we're just subscribed to Hulu and Netflix, or the Hulu Disney Plus bundle and then Netflix. Utility is just about the same over here, and insurance right on budget. Savings, and like I said earlier, we were able to finish maxing out my husband's Roth IRA thanks to his overtime pay. So luckily we were able to still put money towards that. So for our food budget, we were actually under, which I'm always surprised when we're under our food budget because this is the category where we tend to spend the most on, or we tend to go over. But I think this was the first month where we actually increased our budget for food by $50. So bi-weekly, we were used to doing $250. So now we're going to be doing $300 per paycheck budget. And so far it's been working out great. And then for transportation, I'm surprised this was under as well. But I think for the most part, since we were going on trips, our travel budget was paying for gas. And then plus my mom also transferred over that money to help pay for gas as well. And household was just under budget. Kids, we were over a little bit. Not a little bit, by a lot, by like $65. And a lot of this was from buying my oldest son some new pajamas, some clothes that he's outgrown that I didn't quite work into the budget. And what I intended to do was, if we went over, was to transfer money from their sinking funds, because we do have a sinking fund set up for them as well, but we just decided to work it in the budget. A lot of the things that are in red over here are things that we have sinking funds for, but my husband and I talked about it, and since he was working overtime, we decided to just work it all into the budget and just be over and be okay with it. So otherwise, if we needed to use that money, we would have totally dipped into their sinking funds and to help balance everything out. So we just didn't do it this time. And yeah, so my husband went over $144, which I am actually really surprised with, because he's not a spender. But for this paycheck budget, I do remember, other than the food spending, he did spend money on my birthday gift, and can't remember what else. He vapes, so he bought a couple of vape items as well, I think for the first paycheck budget before he went on his trip. And I think he took some extra money during his trip as well, because just in case he needed extra cash. So yeah, so he spent a little, way more, I guess, than what he budgeted for, what we budgeted for. I also went over a little bit as well, and I did spend quite a bit this month. I decided I wanted to revamp my workspace, which should have totally come out of my business account, but I just used my budget or my savings for it. I also decided to invest in a new web camera, or actually I never had a web camera other than what's on my laptop, but I really wanted something that sits on top of my my computer monitor that I use to hook up to my laptop. So that's what I'm using to record right now, and so far I love it. And yeah, so a chunk of my money went towards pretty much business expenses, I realized. So next time I need to really budget that into my business expenses. And then moving on to fun and events, we went over by $106. A lot of our fun and event spending this month had to do with our trip in Santa Cruz, paying for a gift that we went a little bit over on. For healthcare, we went over by a bit, and part of this was my fault because I forgot to cancel a subscription. I was subscribed to receive Shakeology every month, and I forgot to cancel. I'm not into Shakeology. I tried it. My body does not like it. I do like the beach bars though. I think it's called beach bars. I don't know. But those actually taste really, really good. And I like to have it when I'm craving chocolate. But yeah, the shakes I couldn't get into. So I decided to cancel that subscription. It's also pretty expensive as well. If I was going to drink a shake, I actually really like the Premier ones. Those taste really good. The chocolate flavor ones. So if I were going to drink a protein shake, it would probably be that. Miscellaneous, we were under. I usually tend to use my miscellaneous as a cushion anyways. Let's see what was on here. Anything that stands out. Oh, I ended up putting my mom's thing on here. The money that she wanted to give to my husband's mom. So that's where a chunk of that came from. But she did give us that money anyways. So that's why it kind of looks like we spent it even though it was my mom's money. Yeah. So that's what that is. And then for travel, we did go over by $300. And a lot of that had to do, I want to say, with, it was mostly, where is it? So that's for Santa Cruz. Mostly for our Big Bear trip, or not Big Bear, Lake Arrowhead. We kind of went into a bit of panic buy mode because we hadn't bought any of our snow gear until this paycheck budget, and our trip was on January 6th. So we were just buying maybe some things that maybe we didn't need. I know for sure I didn't use my jacket that much as I had thought I would. I didn't use the gloves. The kids didn't use their snow goggles or their goggles. But yeah, so we did use our pants, which I think I probably could have bought cheaper somewhere else. I did buy it from Amazon. And yeah, so a lot of things that we kind of just were buying thinking we would need it, but we ended up really not needing it. but maybe for next year we will. I do have to return a couple things that still have the tags on them, and that will for sure hopefully go back into our travel fund. But yes, so that's where that kind of extra money, that overage kind of came from. And then business, I did spend $354. This was under our checking account because I need to change my my renewal, because for my website last year, when I bought it in 2020, my checking account is still on there. So I just need to make sure I transfer over my business account to make sure that it gets deducted. It's on automatic renewal, and I totally forgot to do that. So I just need to do that for next year. So this is for website renewal. And sponsorship, we gave as much as we usually do. And then Christmas, this month we spent $960. And speaking of Christmas, we did go over our total amount that we spent. I have it over here, was $1,263.20, which was more than our goal amount, which was $1,000. And yeah, so I think we went a little bit more relaxed on the gift buying and not try to be so frugal as we have been in previous years. And just giving a break on the creative part of trying to be frugal, and we just got gift cards for our son's godparents. And yeah, so next year though, for Christmas, I'm going to be saving a little bit more. I'm going to be saving, or plan to save $1,500. Plus things are just getting expensive. And I have a feeling that maybe our budget also will be increasing as well for some categories. I don't know yet. So far what we've increased is maybe just transportation and food, and that's just about it. And everything else just kind of stays the same. Anyway, so that is pretty much it for this review on our December budget. I find that these are super important so that you know exactly where your money went, so that you can plan out better for the future, especially if you're saving for things like travel and Christmas and stuff. So that way you have a better plan of attack, or a savings plan in place to cover those kinds of expenses. So yeah, anyways, thank you guys so much for watching, especially for watching till the end. And I will talk to you in my next video. Have a good one, guys.